What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, we are on the test server here, so thank you Plarium for allowing us access. And we will be playtesting Michelangelo in a build here to tackle some solo dungeons with some food. Yes, Michelangelo, the free login champion, can actually solo some of these dungeons with the build I'm going to show you guys. It's a bit more accessible, and obviously you can elevate the build or run a lesser version of the build. Just scale down the difficulty for your level of gear and progress. I'm going to show you guys the build here first and explain to you guys why it works and where it will work. All right, so here we go. We got Michelangelo here. He is in a toxic set. So the toxic set you farm from the dragon dungeon. It's going to be placing a 2.5% poison debuff for 2 turns. It's 75% chance. You can increase this chance with Masteries, and you can increase the duration with Masteries as well. Just something to keep in mind, we do have a perception set for additional speed and accuracy and a pinpoint set for additional speed and accuracy. Total stats here, 271 speed. We got full crit rate with 270 crit damage. Accuracy is definitely high. You can cut this down quite a bit. And we have 5.8k attack. We are running the 5-star blessing here. Now the 5-star blessing we can acquire from the daily login rewards. I highly recommend you guys get that. It's a massive boatload of stats. You can kind of see here 8.5k HP, 750 attack, as well as crit damage and accuracy. Very, very useful. The resistance also very useful as well. So I'll show you guys the build here. We got the toxic set. This is what you're going to be using to kill some of these bosses. You need Michelangelo to be relatively high speed so you can cycle through his abilities pretty quickly. We're not running a relic or anything, but if I were to offer some advice, if you guys had a choice of relic, definitely run something like a golden elixir. It's going to help you guys get a bit of healing back and a little bit more flexibility with the gearing part of things. As for the blessing here, brimstone is a must to kill bosses in pretty quick speed. Fully booked, of course, for Michelangelo. And here are the masteries I got on him. You guys might have seen masteries like this for other solo type farming champions like Tomb Lord or Theodore, for example. No different here. So here we're taking a bit of the shield boosting here. This is the way that Michelangelo is going to stay alive. Usually we run a healing set like regeneration on Theodore or Tomb Lord for those solo runs. But in this case, Michelangelo doesn't have any poison in his kit. We basically give him poison in his kit through a toxic set, but his passive does keep him alive. So here we're boosting his passive up with all the shield upgrades. We're going Laura Steel for extra stats, and then we're going to take Master Hexter to extend his debuffs as well as the poisons. We're going to take Spirit Haste here for additional speed when the food dies, and then we will take Oppressor here for additional turn meter. Yeah, I think this is probably the best set of masteries here, going for turn meter as well, and then additional healing here as well. Now for stats to hit, you don't necessarily need him to do lots of damage like crit rate and crit damage. It's going to speed up the run. If you give him crit rate and crit damage, it will speed up the run because you can kill the waves faster, you can get to the boss faster, etc, etc. But you know, without ignore defense set, he's not going to be doing crazy amounts of damage anyways. So if you want to sacrifice stats, it's probably going to be offensive stats, crit rate and crit damage first. The attack stat does build up his shield, so you don't want this to be too low because the shield is one of the ways that he's staying alive. You want good speed, you want accuracy at least 200, 250. 338 is a little bit high. I don't know where the accuracy came from. Maybe I can cut it out, but I think it's just going to be from various pieces of gear. I'll show you guys some of the gear here. You know, it's pretty good gear, of course. But like I said, you guys can scale it down for your difficulty levels. But yeah, toxic set here, you can basically just run all speed gear, speed and survivability, or speed and attack. In terms of overall speed, I would aim for about 250 speed. You should be able to handle most content, especially the levels that I'm showing you guys here today. So first, what can he solo with this type of build for overall progression? Ice Golem. Ice Golem, I've tested all the way up to 23 and it works perfectly fine. You don't really want to take him into a negative affinity level like magic, for example. Level 24 and 20, the spirit affinity ones, are actually very, very annoying. The wave 2 has reflect damage minions, which can kill Michelangelo. So 20 and 24 are not ideal, but we can farm 23 and 22 without much issue here. So we're going to do 23. I'm going to show you guys exactly what happens. Very, very awesome, actually, to see Michelangelo do this. There are reflect enemies here as well, but for some reason, Michelangelo doesn't die on this wave, but against the Spirit Affinity levels, he does die. So here we go. You can kind of take a look here. He can totally self-sustain himself with his shield, with the leech. So he kind of has built-in healing. You don't really need a regen set on him. What you do need is a way to kill the boss with, and poisons make it a lot easier. And if you have damage stats, like I said, you can go through the waves a lot easier. But you can kind of see him. He doesn't really have too much difficulty. The Brimstone's really helpful too. Helps pitch in some damage. Not necessarily against the Ice Golem, but he does pitch in damage against the waves and definitely against the Dragon Boss, which is where we will be taking him next. I'll show you guys this build here. Unfortunately, Ice Golem hard difficulty does not work with this build because the Ice Golem on hard difficulty is immune to poisons, so it's not going to be worthwhile. Not going to be worthwhile to use there. But for normal Ice Golem, this build works perfectly fine. Poisons definitely work against the boss. Now, I'm sure there's probably a way for the boss to kill Michelangelo with the big slam, but we do have a chance to evade it, which is awesome. And of course, the poisons will eventually tick down the boss here. We do have to fade out, some of his big hits, especially if we get really unlucky, but so far it's working out really, really well. You can kind of see here, obviously the poison's going to tick him down. And then we'll eventually, get lucky and unlucky at the same time to run into his big slam. Here we go. And we survive with the passive evade there. Even without the evade, we actually would probably still survive with the shield there. Here we go. All done. As soon as he takes a turn, we'll be done. So for normal difficulty Ice Golem, if you have a little bit of resistance, it definitely helps. But not necessarily. Like you're looking about 200, 300. About 300 would probably be pretty safe. But even if you have a little bit to resist some of the debuffs, it actually goes a long way. So you got 2 minutes solo run here with this build. Perfectly reasonable. And I mean, I like having builds that are reasonably accessible as well as farming food and also able to handle multiple areas. So Ice Golem you can take care of with that build, and then I'm going to show you guys Dragon here, and I've tested all the way up to stage 6 and it works very, very well. I've tested stage 8 and I've tested stage 10. The dragon hits too hard. Michelangelo actually goes through the waves on both 8 and 10, but the dragon hits too hard and Michelangelo cannot survive with his current build. I'm not saying that he can never farm these stages. I think there is a possibility that he would be able to, probably with better stats and maybe with the right relic perhaps. But stage 6 with this build is very, very solid. I'll show you guys here. And also the waves matter too. On stage 8, we have a lot of cleansers and healers. There's a bit of a slow slog, to be honest. But stage 6, the Void Affinity stage, it feels really nice. I'll show you guys here. Like I said, he can fully sustain himself with the shield and the leech and just cycling through, right? The evades definitely helpful as well. And yeah, it's really, really, really awesome kit, to be honest. Michelangelo for a beginning player, just awesome. Obviously the stats on this definitely helped out by the 5-star blessing, so 100% recommend getting the 5-star blessing. Really helps, builds them out. You don't need great gear. And yeah, I'm doing some moderate stage difficulty stuff with the build that doesn't seem like it could work, but just because of Michelangelo's kit being so good, giving him just a toxic set here allows him to basically just go ham and farm food for you as well. So a little bit slow on wave 2 here. We got the Eurogrims with the continuous heals and then the cleanses, which are a little bit annoying. But we're still doing pretty good. We can't really CC them. That's the thing. So, we're at the mercy of whatever they do. The evades help. Obviously, a little bit of resistance helps as well. So we can stop some of the debuffs. But yeah, let's see. Also, the small poisons don't do like insane amounts of damage. But let's see how he handles the boss here. Obviously, we have to kill him with the poisons. That's going to be a big thing here. If we had better resistance, maybe we can resist some of that poison. I think maybe with good resistance, we might have a chance to maybe beat some of the higher dungeons or higher levels of dragon. The fact that his shield refreshes really, really quick really helps here. You can kind of see there as well. We took some masteries to help the size of the shields. Those are really helpful. And yeah, like I said, if we had some resistance, we can resist the attack down and poisons and stuff, and that'll just really help us out. You can kind of see here, we don't really have too much difficulty against the boss at all. And yeah, taking the 5-star brimstone really helps. So 2 minutes and 15 seconds, we got a full team through the boss here with 4 food from Michelangelo soloing it. Pretty fun way to use Michelangelo, to be honest. And in the same build, you can solo Dragon Hard and you can solo Ice Golem normal with food, which is really, really awesome. The build can't do Spider, unfortunately. It doesn't do enough damage against the boss or the spiderlings. You can do lower or mid-level normal spiders. So for example, if you want to do like 16, for example, you can do that without any issues. Fire Knight, obviously no go. Sand Devil, Shogun, you can't do those, of course. Can't do the event dungeon, unfortunately, by himself. So for this build, Toxic build, he's strictly going to be used in Ice Golem, soloing, and Dragon. Right, so let's try stage 10 here. I tried it earlier and it didn't work. The boss just hits way too hard, unfortunately. But this time we added the elixir. Let's see if we can actually get this through. The waves was not the issue. It was the dragon in the end. We did glyph him up a little bit. I think adding resistance to his build would definitely help quite a bit to prevent some of the poison damage coming in from the dragon. That might actually help. I don't know if that's going to be enough. But we will see. You can kind of see here, he can go through the waves relatively okay. Maybe if he was even faster, maybe like 300 speed, I would say probably okay. But I think if we're talking 300 speed in a toxic set, it's probably you know, out of the realm of possibility for most people. So I'm not going to suggest that kind of build. But yeah, as it is right now, I think it's a little bit more accessible. Like I said, you don't need crit rate or crit damage. The run would just be longer, but you can still make it happen just with speed, a little bit of accuracy, and some good attack. So his shield is relatively good size. And then you guys can just, you know, solo with food with a free champion. That's really, really cool. And of course, he's going to have lots of utility against other bosses like clan boss and stuff. If you use him with brimstone, right? You can just use the same build against clan boss as well. Which is really cool. I really like it. And I love his animations. I love the spinning nunchucks. It's kind of like spraying. I don't know. It's really cool. I like it. But yeah, 4-turn cooldown on that AoE. Not the best. So ideally you want it to be like 3-turn cooldown. Let's see how we do here. Obviously 3 poisons landing against us. Really tough to recover from. And they don't trigger. They don't trigger the shield. I'm pretty sure they don't trigger the shield. So no dice here on stage 10, even with the elixir helping us out. So stage 6 solo with food, it seems pretty good. And then we have a Ice Golem 23 solo with food as well. Pretty good for this build. Once again, I'll show you guys the build one more time. Like I said, you don't need the full damage stats, 100%, 270 crit damage. You don't need this. These are the first stats to go on him. You know, good attack, looking for a little bit of accuracy to play against the difficulty that you're in. If you're in normal dungeons, probably 200 accuracy is plenty. The 5-star blessing massively helps here. So if you guys want to make sure you get the 5 stars, then that's going to be really helpful. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. It's you know, not a new concept or anything like that, but it's kind of cool to see it in action. Brimstone here, very helpful with the 5-star blessing. Masteries, I think these are pretty solid. Something else you could kind of go for is perhaps Arcane Celerity. So you can kind of switch it up so that you lose Lay on Hands, you pick up Exalt in Death, and then pick up Arcane Celerity here, and then give up the Healing Saber. So you give a little bit up of the shield stuff, but then you gain the turn meter boost and a heal here. That might be okay, but I found the extra shield, you know, pretty useful. And of course, the little bit of increased healing helps too, because you are healing from Leech. Definitely want to take Master Hexer so you can extend the poisons and all that as well. You could also take Sniper for the extra 5% on landing the small poisons. I mean, it's not necessary because the poisons seem to be landing pretty fine, 75% chance. But the extension of them is pretty good. And then Oppressor seems to be the best no matter what. So yeah, anyways, that's going to be it, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Will you guys give this build a shot? Is it feasible for you guys? What do you guys think? Obviously, if you guys can't reach the necessary stats, just scale down the difficulty a little bit. You can still run Michelangelo with 4 food and it'll be good times. So you can farm dungeons and training events at the same time. And hey, that's pretty awesome for a free champion and free blessing and all that. So great champion. I really like him. Love his animation. So definitely a slam dunk free login champion here. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have any feedback. Appreciate your time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.